Hey jazz heads, so really busy weekend since we last caught up. We had my wife's birthday weekend, which was really cool. We did some really nice stuff. We went out for a meal with some of our friends. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. We took a great trip to London to see the Aquarium, and we went out for a meal with her parents at a really cool venue that I think I'm going to try and get a gig at. Hopefully, maybe that'll be something to report in a future vlog. Who knows? So we're heading into town to go and check out the fish. I was teaching a lesson yesterday with one of my students, and we came across a problem that he was having using a metronome. We were working on that tune, Tico Tico, you know the one. Anyway, he felt like the metronome, which was set obviously at a constant speed, was changing tempo. For the A section, he felt like the metronome was dragging and slowing down. And then we went on to the next section, he felt like the metronome was getting faster. And obviously, it's 100% not, because it's just a little electronic beep that's programmed into the app. So the problem was that the tempos he'd practiced it at had become so ingrained that it seemed like the metronome was going faster or slower than it needed to. This got me on to thinking about giving you some useful tips and ideas about how to use your metronomes when you practice. So the first things you're going to need are obviously a metronome. Currently I'm using one of these ones, just a free one you download from the App Store. I'm really into this one at the moment because obviously you set it to your tempos and speed like that, but it's got a timer on it, so you can set 20 minutes, and I'm just going to practice this one scale for 20 minutes and things like that. So I'm really enjoying that metronome at the moment. That's working really well. The other thing you're going to want, especially for you brass players and reed players, Bluetooth speaker. This is a little JBL, really good volume. So we want that so we can hear ourselves whilst we're practicing, hear the metronome clearly and really get into the beat. You may remember back in episode 1, you saw me doing some long tone drills with the metronome. This is something I do every day, something I do all the time. It's my little take on the Carmine Caruso 6 notes. So it's a drill where you have a breath out for a half note, breath in for a half note, then you play 2 half notes followed by a whole note. Now I like to take this up and down in ascending and descending semitones, so you get a bit of a gap by the time, and it works from F sharp to F sharp, so you've eventually got a 2 octave gap between the two. It works really well, I find, and it's really great for tone. Not only is it really great for tone, what I'm actually doing every time that metronome is beating, I'm subdividing. So I have it on about 30 something, 35 usually. So it's sort of like a 1 yan, a 2 yan. I don't know the exact tempos, but I'm subdividing every single time, and it's really useful for ingraining your internal metronome as well, and learning to subdivide whilst also improving your tone. So the other drills I use the metronome for is helping me to practice really slowly over patterns and scales. So as a jazz musician, I practice scales and I practice patterns all the time. So our music is made up of scales which lead to patterns, which can then lead to fuel for my improvisation. They may not, you know, never know, but the most important thing is that I'm doing the brain work and make sure that I'm thinking whilst I'm playing as well. And that metronome at a slow tempo, slow is always better. Slow tempo really helps ingrain everything and really helps ingrain those patterns and the language and the sound of that language. It's like when you're learning to speak, isn't it? If when you learn to speak, you don't try and speak really fast sentences. You say to a 1 or a 2-year-old, say mum, ma, da, da. We learn things slowly. We have a really good chance of retaining it and it becoming part of our language. So the other bit I get from students is sometimes practicing with a metronome. How can that help me playing in a real band situation and things like that? Why not make that practice with that metronome a duet? Make that metronome into a groove. Okay, so rather than just having, let me turn this guy on. Hopefully you can hear that. Rather than that, just having 1, 2, 3, 4. Why don't we turn that into 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hear that swing as well. So that's just an easy way of practicing with a swing groove. And then I quite often use, when I'm practicing, you know, I can practice all sorts of things over that swing groove. In fact, I think like last episode I did my blues with just a metronome on 2 and 4. And then I move on to using things like drum loops. Drum loops are really cool to practice with as well, and really improving your time.